gallant of me to say anything else. She asked me what I was a professor of, and I told her English literature, which is perfectly true. And then I think I asked her who her favourite writer was, and she named some dreadful ham of a romantic poet or something similarly insufferable. And well, it's all rather a blur. It's all rather indistinct. I believe I started quoting, which is a terrible habit, waggling my erudition around in public like that. "You must be so brainy," the girl said. I remember that. I think that when she said that, she was perched upon my arthritic old knee. I may have, jiggled her a bit, playfully. I don't really recall. The moon tonight is enormous. Oh, I know, it isn't really enormous. It's really the same size as it always and inevitably is. It only seems to be enormous because it is low in the sky and therefore compares favourably size-wise with the earthly furniture of chimneys and treetops and television aerials. But all that notwithstanding, the moon is enormous tonight. And it's also the same heartbreaking yellow colour as the yellow-lit windows. Should we get a cab? We'll get a cab. I don't remember just how the conversation went or who exactly said exactly what. It must have gone something like that because, of course, we ended up in a cab, this girl and I. And she kissed me. Do you have any idea what it is like for a man like me, a man with hair in his ears and old man's hands that shake too much for shaving, to be kissed in the back of a taxi cab by a girl? Even a girl who isn't very clever, who might not even be as young as she had first appeared, who is certainly wearing too much perfume, and may have drunk too much white wine. Even a girl like that, do you have any idea what it's like? Perhaps you do. No matter. In any event, Daphne peered from the bedroom window at something like 11:30 and saw me and the girl dancing a haphazard tango up and down the pavement. The girl was laughing. I was singing. And that just about brings us up to date, I think. Hedgehog. A hedgehog, here on the lawn. He pauses in his rummaging. He looks at me. I return his flinty gaze. We are fellow creatures of the midnight garden. You just can't help yourself, can you? Daphne demanded. Well, I don't know about that. It seems to be the dumb thing these days to say, no, I'm afraid I can't help myself. I can't, poor me, poor piteous me. But my feeling is that I probably could help myself if I were so inclined. It's just that all too often it transpires that I'm not so inclined. Is it my fault that I'm not so inclined? Well, this is a Russian doll of a question. I could wish, I suppose, that Daphne made me happy. She is, after all, not a bad-looking girl. Clever, what's more. She's written books and things, whereas all I've done is read books and things. I could wish that I were inclined to return home to Daphne in the fireside each evening at 6 o'clock. I could wish, why not, to be enthused by soft furnishings. Whether or not I do wish these things is immaterial. They're simply not so. What was it I was singing out there on the moonlit pavement? Daphne will remember, but it probably isn't the sort of question I ought to be asking her in these uncertain times. Isn't this a lovely day to be caught in the rain? I forget the rest. Not much of a tango number anyway. Don't know what I was thinking. And furthermore, it wasn't even raining. The hedgehog suddenly bolts. Light. Golden light floods the lawn. The door opens. For a second, Daphne's there. I fleetingly see against the yellow hollow light the dark, impatient silhouette of her chin, the curled hair, her shoulder, her hand on the door handle. And then she's gone. Back inside, back to bed, leaving the door ajar. Painfully, I uncross my legs. Painfully, I stand up. I don't know if I can help myself or not, but anyway, I look up at the enormous yellow moon and at the unbearable, the intolerable yellow light at the windows. I walk to the door. I negotiate the 3 doorsteps with only a slight difficulty. I push open the door and lean with one hand on the door frame and softly call to Daphne upstairs. I'm sorry. Then I quietly close the door and turn around. Back down the 3 doorsteps, back across the lawn, back onto the moonlit pavement. I don't sing, and I don't dance. I just walk. but it's a sort of walking that feels rather like singing and rather like dancing.